What is the upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXGamerCast. We're on episode 160 of my little gaming show where once a week I just has to talk about video games, whether they're old video games that I grew up with, new video games that I'm playing today, it doesn't matter. Video games. And today, if you don't have goosebumps after listening to that opening soundtrack, I think you probably know what we're going to be talking about if you've heard that song before. Oh yeah, baby. We are going to be talking about... it's tough to say if it's dead. It's definitely not dead. Is it on the rise? That is the classic couch co-op video game. And if you don't know what couch co-op is, because, newer gamers, who knows? That means... you're playing a video game with someone physically, they're right next to you, you're sharing a screen. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about games that you're playing multiplayer online games. That's a different list for a different day. But today we're talking specifically games that I have grown up or have recently played, rather with my wife or growing up with friends. These are all the couch co-op games that were my favorite growing up. And it's a pretty big list. I like to try and, I don't know, it's not really an Easter egg, but instead of top 10s, I like to do like top 13 is kind of my number. I can usually get up to 15, but this time I think there's like 19 games on this list. So yeah, so I might fly through a few of them because they're kind of games that I've talked about numerous times on this podcast. Or they're just like, obviously, Mario Kart and stuff like that. So yes, there's some gimmies on this list, but there's some in here that might tickle your fancy. Maybe some that you've never played before, haven't tried before with your partner or whatever, your friends. I don't play a lot of I did play a lot of 4-player co-op games, but not multiplayer, but, N64 and stuff. There's going to be a lot of N64 love on this list, but before we get into this list, let's talk about what I've been up to over the last week or so. As I always encourage you, the viewer, the listener, let me know what you have been up to. Summer is almost over. It feels over already for me personally, and I imagine whatever people that have gone back to ski and stuff like that. But, we still got a little bit of summer left. But anyway, let me know what your favorite thing you did this summer, whether it's a video game, movie, TV show, activity. Let me know what your favorite thing that you did was. And I'll let you know what I've been up to recently. Not too much, still rocking kind of the same video games. I did finish off the most recent season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And overall, it was okay. Definitely got saved by a very strong episode. And that is the one, the gang gets ready for prime time. I think it's episode 7. It's the second to last episode. Phenomenal. Classic Sunny episode right there. Dennis is trying to get the group together because I guess Frank is on The Bachelor for some reason. So anyway, he's doing this I'm coming home dinner, and Dennis is freaking out because he's oh, we gotta look good. We don't want to get canceled. It's so easy to get canceled and stuff like that. And it's just classic Dennis trying to do a good thing, sort of, in weird Dennis fashion. And he's just blowing up, freaking hilarious. And it was kind of a 2-part episode. The second part of it was the season finale of The Bachelor and also the season finale of Always Sunny. Kind of cool. But that was more of a touchy-feely episode. Frank finds a love interest, and actually, it was funny. It was a strong ending to the season. Overall, it was, like I said, it was kind of okay. Not the best season of Always Sunny. They're on, this is season 17 now. So it's definitely, we're past the golden era here, but there's still some decent episodes in there. It was some funny stuff. But overall, it hit it with I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because the finale was good, and the best episode by far was episode 7. Check that one out if you got time. They're short episodes, 20 some odd minutes. Other than that, no movies again. I'm still trying to keep caught up with wrestling. My wife has gone on a little trip to see family, so we're behind on wrestling right now, but it doesn't matter. And we're going to an AEW show next weekend, so that is going to be cool. Maybe I can do a review of my experience at the AEW live show. I think it's all out, but again, I've been kind of half foot out of the door with wrestling right now. I'm not super committed to watching it week to week. I still watch the pay-per-views for sure, full attention, absolutely, but the week-to-week stuff, it's kind of background stuff while I'm gaming and all that stuff. So it doesn't need my full attention because honestly, I've been watching it for 8 straight years. I kind of get the formula now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, tag team match. We got this guy and that guy. Okay, I see who's going to win. Boom. Okay, good. And so on and so forth. But anyway, I'm very excited for the upcoming live event. They did change the time. I guess I can discuss that. Very funny. AEW was originally scheduled to go on at 7 p.m. like normal. And WWE's like, yo, we're doing WrestlePalooza at the exact same time. And AEW's like, oh, no, you're not. We're going to move. So all of a sudden, their show was starting at like 1:45 anyway. So yeah, they don't want to go up against the WWE. I imagine ticket sales haven't been the strongest because I have not heard anything about a sellout, and they've been pushing those tickets out. So maybe I should have waited and got a better deal, but I got some good seats, so I'm very happy where I'm sitting. Regardless, that's going to be awesome. In terms of video games, I am still playing Planet Zoo. Very much enjoying that. Haven't played a lot of that, but finished up my most recent Zoo. It was a lot of fun. Still playing some Pokemon Sun while I'm watching wrestling. I'm on to the second trial now. Still just taking my time. Haven't had a lot of fun. But the game that's taking up the most time this week is Alan Wake 2. Oh, buddy. What a weird, trippy game this one is right here. It's definitely a lot different than the first Alan Wake, which is one of the first games that I played this year, and obviously my first take into the Alan Wake series. I have played Control. I have mixed feelings and opinions on Control. It had such great highs, but also some very low lows for me, so I have very mixed opinions about that game. Alan Wake, the first game I actually enjoyed quite a bit. I think I gave it like a 7 or a 7.5 on my, doesn't matter. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I went in with medium expectations, and yeah, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. It's a pretty good remake, and now I'm into Alan Wake 2, and it's quite different. It plays more like a Resident Evil, which is what everyone says, but it's true. It really does feel much more and plays much more like a Resident Evil in its combat. But its puzzles are more detective based. Like, you are legitimately finding clues. You're putting them up on a board, thinking Charlie from Always Sunny, the conspiracy board, almost like that. You're just putting up clues all over the place, like, what's going on? And that's kind of my reaction to the game throughout it for the first, I don't know, half dozen hours or so I've played this game. I'm just like, what the hell is going? It's so trippy. Things are weird. Is it scary? I mean, I've had a couple of little, ooh, hey, what's going on there? Wow, that was a little scary. I will admit, the first time this game, I guess, I don't know if it's notorious, but it has some like flashing imagery and some like loud noises that will just kind of happen periodically throughout the game, and there's settings to turn it down apparently. And the first time that happened, scared the fuck out of me. I just melted into my seat for a second there, turned into a goop, and reformed myself, and after that, I've been okay. Other than that, a couple of jump scares. There's definitely been some ones that went right over my head. I was just like, nope, that was a good, like, homie breaking through walls and shit. I'm like, that should have got me, but I guess, like I said, I think I'm getting a little callous to horror games now. I played quite a few over the last few years, especially last October. I played like 4 in a row, so maybe I am getting better with scary games. At least the Resident Evil style ones I do well. But is Alan Wake a horrifying, terrifying experience? It's not scary. I mean, there's definitely, the setting is pretty freaky. You're in like a forest, at least 80% of the time so far that I've played, I've been in a forest. It's really dark, and that is like arguably number 1/2 on my most feared list is a dark, scary forest. But I realize I'm in a video game, so I'm okay. But yeah, there's some scares for sure. It's not the scariest game I've ever played, but there are some scares. So if you don't like horror games, then I guess you're just not gonna like Alan Wake, because it is a horror game. But plays like Resident Evil, I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna get back into it real soon. And yeah, probably play some Planet Zoo as well. And here we go. Finally got through. That was a fairly quick intro. I've been doing not good with that recently. So let's get into this list. Let's talk about some co-op games that you could play with a physical person in your beside you on a couch, the way I used to back in the day. All right, let's talk about that. I feel like every time I accidentally say that, and I'm a good Mythical Morning, I don't watch them all the time anymore, but I used to, and I feel bad when I say that. I'm totally stealing that. Doesn't matter. It's my own thing. Let's get into talking about some multiplayer video games. Jeez. All right. If you don't know that music, I mean, what are we even doing here? Let's start with arguably the king of co-op couch video games, and that is the Mario Kart series. I think anyone that has played a video game has probably heard of or probably even played a Mario Kart game at some point. Now, the real question is, what's your coup de grace? What's the cream of the crop for you? What's your Mario Kart? I'll start off with the one that I haven't. There's a few I haven't played. I haven't played the Super Nintendo, the very first Mario Kart. It's on my list. You know, I have access to play it on the online thing on Nintendo Switch Online, so I'll play it at some point when I need to. But I'm no rush. It's just sitting there waiting for me. And I have not played Double Dash. That's one I'm rather interested to play, because that mechanic of the Double Dash they've never returned to it. And of course, it's the GameCube crowd. They swear by it. You know, there's some that say it's the best. There's an argument for every Mario Kart. I know there's the haters of the Wii, but I am probably one of the few that would say, I'm not going to say it's the best one, especially with Mario Kart 8 existing, but it's definitely one of my favorite ones, because that was the one I got the best at, and it was the only one that I could beat the homie Billy at, so it definitely has a special place in my heart. It's probably the one I played the most. I played it a ton by myself. I played it numerous times on game days with my friends whenever there was a PA day. If, you know, my Canadians out there, I don't know what the hell it is for Americans. Maybe it's the same thing. Let me know. But every time we would do a game day, and it's there's so many of the games on this list. I'll try and name them that we would play on game days. There's a lot of game day games on this list, so that's a lot of fun. But Mario Kart Wii was a big one, and so was my personal favorite for the Mario Kart franchise is still Mario Kart 64. That's still my baby, even though she's starting to age a little bit compared to some of the you know, the gorgeous graphics on Mario Kart 8 and stuff like that. I have not looked at Mario Kart 9, is that what they called it, or World Tour, or whatever the hell. I see, that's how uninterested I am now in the Switch 2. I am just so turned off by the greed of that console and that market right now. I'm really just turned off by that. So I've really just kind of stayed away. I will shout out the homie Billy. He got himself a Switch 2, him and his fiance, or as now, they got themselves a Switch 2 as kind of a wedding gift. That is dope. I'm super, you know, happy for them. I was going to say jelly, but I'm not that jelly. I mean, great. You got it. I'm happy for you. Good luck buying games for that thing. It's so damn expensive. Ridiculous. Anyway, so good on you. But like I said, probably put the most time into the Wii version, which some people would probably cringe at. I would love to play. I really hope, fingers crossed, they put it out on the Nintendo Switch Online, the GameCube, for the Switch 2. And again, that will just push me towards, you know, someday I'll probably get a Switch 2. Here I go. See, I gotta not convince. Just stop it. Stop yourself right now. All right, let's move on. I have a whole episode on Mario Kart 64. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've done the Wii one yet. I don't know when I would ever pop in the Mario Kart Wii again. I mean, maybe someday, just to go through some of the levels. There's some really great levels in Mario Kart Wii. I know people hate the wiggle and the all that stuff. It didn't bug me that much. Like, I just enjoyed the gameplay. So anyway, Mario Kart is a great time. Of course, I should shout out Mario Kart 8. Haven't played it as much as most people. Like, I'm probably clocked in at about 30-ish hours on Mario Kart, which is good. Definitely nowhere as much as I put into other Mario Karts. Like, I think 64 and Wii, I'm probably closer to 100 hours on those ones, because I did every darn thing you can do in those games. But Mario Kart 8, it's just kind of more of the same. I don't really know where you can take this series, even after the newest one. Like, they're trying that Forza open world, but apparently that's the worst part about that Mario Kart in particular. So they need some refining on that. They'll get it. They'll get it. It's Nintendo. They'll figure it out. But they need some more help, and some more time. But anyway, we'll move on from Mario Kart. We don't want to spend too much time on what I would consider as arguably the best couch co-op game. But that's not what this list is about. It's just a bunch, because I know that's one I've looked up personally in numerous times, is like, I need some couch co-op games to play with my wife or my friends, or that I haven't played before. So let's move on to the next one. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Series. More of the old ones, split screen. Loved playing it with the homies back in the day before I got my own copy of it. I used to play it all the time at my friend Corey's house, and I still would love to play the N64 versions. I love just skate, especially when I was an actual skater, when I would skateboard. Me and my friend Jay, we used to play these games, Tony Hawk Pro Skater Series games all the time, split screen, as many times as you can. Even though we would play American Wasteland, which wasn't my favorite one in the series, but regardless, it was still a really good time. We got the NHL series, another classic of the game days, or just whenever it was even just one-on-one friend time, like just me and Jesse, we'd play Chell. Me and Billy were playing Chell. Me and Kyle playing Chell. Generally, me and Billy would play each other. Other times we would team up, go dust kids online. I even have some videos on my YouTube channel where me and Billy used to dust kids online. I think it was actually called Dusting Kids in Shell. Terrible name for a series, a little bit too long. But regardless, tons of great memories. The only problem is, like, I haven't played Shell online in a long time because the what you call it, the crowd just was not very great. There wasn't a lot of people playing anymore. Like, it was hard to get into a game. It was hard for people to stay in a game, and it wasn't a good market anymore. It's probably gotten better now. I feel like Shell's a little bit on the rise, but still, I've been playing it for so long, and my golden era has passed. I feel like the Shell from like 07 to like 13, 14, that was like my golden age right there. Like, I put in hundreds of hours on like each one of those Shells. I have an episode that I talked about the games that I played the most, and there's a lot of NHL games that are featured on that list because I could not get enough of it. I just need to take a few years away from Chell and let some of the features build up and some new things just get more put into the game. And it's been too long. It's been a yearly series for freaking ever, man. Like, there's only so much they can do in a year, especially how games are made nowadays. But oh man, me and the homies used to play Chell all the freaking time. And I love the fact that they bought into that and they call it the world of Chell, like, because they know everyone just calls it, yo, you want to play Chell? Let's play Chell. And I will admit there was a lot of Chell online play as well, not just co-op, but there was a lot of couch co-op Chellin' time. Like, homies coming over, let's play some Chell. All right, let's move on to the next game. Soul Calibur 2, my favorite fighting game, I would say. It was the one I grew up with. I know there's other ones that are arguably better. I mean, Soul Calibur is still around, is it? I mean, I think 6 was the last one that they did. I think they did announce 7. It doesn't matter, but Soul Calibur 2 is my baby. Shout out Soul Calibur 3, though. I freaking played the hell out of that game. It's a better game. I'll just say that, right? It may not play as good as 2. It may not be as, like, balanced and stuff, but the extra features that are in Soul Calibur 3, like, I want to do a combo episode on that game at some point, but I want to rebuy it. It's one of the games I've not been able to... It's not that it's that hard to find. I'm a cheap ass, and I want specific versions of the game, and so on and so forth. Regardless, I would like to own it back in my collection. Soul Calibur 3, I feel like I thought I had it. It doesn't matter. My sister probably has it, but I really enjoyed playing. I say I enjoyed playing. I ended up... This is why I don't play fighting games, because I'm competitive, and you lose a lot when you play fighting games, and I don't like losing, so that's why I kind of took fighting games off of it, because I would just get too fired up. I'm like, it's just not worth it, getting angry at video games. They're supposed to be a fun pastime, and if fighting games just make me upset, then I don't play them. But I will admit, they did just put out Mortal Kombat 11? Or is it 1? Whatever. I think it's the newest Mortal Kombat on the PlayStation Plus thingy, and it's free to play and download. So I've been curious to play it. It is like 1,000 gigabytes, though. It is massive. I can't fit it on my PlayStation at the moment, so that's why I'm hesitant. I'll have to do some storage management, but a little bit curious. But I am always aware that Mortal Kombat especially has some cheesy stuff going on in those games, especially like the story mode. I remember how much trouble that Shao Kahn guy was or whatever on one of those Mortal Kombats, maybe 8 or 9 or something like that. I'm not a big homie Billy is a big Mortal Kombat guy, but me personally, Soul Calibur, I don't want to talk about it too much, but that's like my go-to fighting game. I did really enjoy Tekken 3, I do believe, on the PlayStation 1. I just didn't get to play it a whole lot. I played it literally maybe 2 or 3 times, and it was awesome every single time. But Soul Calibur 2, that's my fighting game of choice still. we move on to a game that I played recently, and that is, I'll also shout out Wii Sports, but also Switch Sports. Both the Wiggle sports games, they're both freaking awesome. I love playing them. I wish my wife was here right now and we can play it. I would like to play some golf or some bowling. Those are my go-to favorite ones. Honestly, a little bit disappointed they didn't put baseball back into Switch Sports. I know it was probably the least played one that I played personally out of it, but I don't like them removing stuff. Like, if it's already there, keep it. Like, I know they added in other stuff, but like, it's just that's a pet peeve I have with video game sequels, is when they take out things like that. Like, the NHL is criminal for doing that. They do it all the time. They'll take out features and then put them back in years later and call it new. It's like, no, it isn't. That was in the game originally. Like, you should go back and play some of the stuff they had on the PS2 and check out all the features they had in those games. Insane. You should giggle at the amount of features that they have in the Chell games today. Regardless, we're not talking about Chell. We're talking about Wii Sports, and I can't tell you how much Wii Sports I played. I got to play it with pretty much everyone, all the friends, even family. You know, my sister, I imagine my dad even checked it out. Probably even got grandma, grandma getting down, throwing a little bowling ball action. And I know a lot of people, my wife works PSW, so it's the Wii is still, and Wii Sports is still very common in nursing homes. So shout out Wii Sports. That's just an all-timer right there. We go to another sport game, and that is Mario Tennis 64 specifically, because I was so addicted to this game. I was literally at a beautiful house on a beautiful summer day and a beautiful swimming pool with a diving board and everything. I'm like 12 years old in my prime for I'm in the summer off of school, and what am I doing? I even dragged my sister in as well, because she was addicted to playing Mario Tennis 64 inside the house. Like, they're just like, come swim in the swimming pool. We're like, no, I want to play Mario Tennis, because I've never played the sports games. I think that was the first sports game that I got to play in the Mario franchise. So that was a ton of fun. I will admit, it doesn't hit the same way that it used to. That time my sister and I just played. The one cool thing, maybe this is the extra feature that we're missing. We played it on a waterbed. Whoa, that shit's crazy, bro. Waterbed's insane. Crazy concept. Horrible for your back. I think everyone that grew up in like the 80s, 90s probably had or dealt with a waterbed at some point in their lives, maybe even 2000s people. But yeah, I've dealt with a handful of waterbeds, and really cool, really fun, but a pain in the ass. All right, so we'll move on from Mario Tennis 64. I don't think I've ever played any other Mario Tennis game. I never played it on the Wii, the GameCube, never got any of those. Yeah, I think I only played the 64 version, so that's why it's on this list. Up next, we got DDR, Dance Revolution. Oh, snap. Admittedly, I was what would you call it, a non-believer in this game originally. I used to giggle at my sister when she would play it. But then, she got really good at it, and she was so good at it, she was, losing weight, and I was like, damn, girl. I was like, all right, I'll join in. This looks a little fun, and a bunch of fun songs to play. I can't remember many of them, but, and I was never good at it. I could play a few songs on, medium or something, but, how many times my sister would, buckle down and play games maybe she didn't want to play with me. I felt like I owed her to play some Dance Revolution with her, and ended up kind of liking it so much that it's on this list, especially because, those were the good days. We used to play in an apartment too, so sorry, downstairs neighbors. Our apologies, but hey, it was good for us. All right, up next we got Resogun, bro. Oh man, I'm a little bit hazy on this. I believe you could play this couch co-op. I don't know if we had to pass the controller back and forth. Shout out to the homie Jesse. We used to play the shit out of this game because it was basically the only game that I had when I had the PS4 at launch. I was not prepared for the PlayStation 4 launch. Had no idea my grandma was going to get me one as a surprise. And yeah, all I had was Call of Duty Ghosts, which is arguably my least... I don't know. There's a lot that I didn't like, but I think Ghost is my least favorite Call of Duty. That'd be a great list for another day. I'll rank my Call of Duty games. That's also a little bit difficult because there's a lot of them, and a lot of them I haven't played in a long, long time. So I might have to wing that one a little bit. I know the ones that I love, but the ones that I didn't play a lot of, there's like maybe a dozen hours on some of those Call of Duties, so I don't have a big opinion. Didn't play the campaigns on every one of them, but I played pretty much all of them. Regardless, what am I talking about? Oh, Resogun. Oh, yeah. Love that game, man. Freaking underrated game. It's been featured on quite a few episodes. I know I definitely featured it on my underrated list, but it's a really fun game. It's kind of like you're just spinning around this globe and you're saving people, and it's kind of a shoot 'em up. It's really fun. I haven't played it in a really, really, really long time, but it got me through the grind of a launch. That was my first real launch that I've ever experienced, and this is why I'm fine with waiting a few years on consoles, because it's a little bit of a barren wasteland at the beginning. Yeah, you might have a banger or two at the beginning, but then that's it for a while, and then you got to rely on third party. And then at that point, it's like, I could have got this on the other. It doesn't matter. People can do whatever the heck they want with their monies as long as it makes them happy, I guess. Well, that's not true at all. So be careful. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Overcooked. Overcooked is a great time. It's not my favorite one, just because it definitely causes frustration between you and your partner. And it especially loses some points, especially if you're playing it couch co-op, because then you get physically angry with each other and you fucking hitting each other and stuff like that. I would have loved to have grown up with a game like this with my sister. We would have been screaming at each other but having a blast, you know what I'm saying? And I did when I played this with my wife, but I could feel her frustration with the game, and I don't want to force her to play a video game that she's not having a lot of fun with. Hence why we moved on to a game that was slightly less frustrating. There were still some frustrations, but I will also talk about moving out. So if you are having that problem with your partner and it's like, you know what, cooking is a little bit way too frustrating, let's try something else that's equally as frustrating, and moving. Have you ever moved before? Yes, I have. My hand is up. I have moved 7 or 8 times in my life, and I've helped out moving like 3 or 4 times. So I will say it's less stressful helping. It's I've had better times helping where it's like, all right, it's not that I'm being an a-hole and smashing stuff and all that crap, but I can definitely not feel the pressure of moving. I'm like, I'm already moved into my place. But yeah, I've done some really stressful moves, and but this game's actually really fun. We played Moving Out 1 and 2 because it was just really fun. Now, there's not a big enough difference, I would say, from 1 and 2. You could just go straight to Moving Out 2 and have a blast with that one. The mechanics are pretty much the same. You're moving stuff in or out of a building, and they're going to throw obstacles at you, like doors that only open one way, or doors that lock, or doors that your partner are going to have to come over and open, and stuff like that. And obviously, you're going to have to pivot. I did a Friends reference. Not a Friends guy, but I did a Friends reference. I'm sorry. I'm not a Friends guy. I don't like sitcoms with laugh tracks. It drives me up. It drives me bananas. It just drives me freaking bananas. I can't stand it. I can't get behind it. Regardless, we're not talking about Friends, but Moving Out is a great co-op video game. Again, you can play it multiplayer online as well, but try a couch co-op. Invite a friend over. Invite your grandma over and be like, "Yo, let's play Moving Out, and let's get stressed out together, and then stress eat ice cream, and then it'll be just a great time." All right, we're gonna shout out. Not shout out, but we're gonna talk about the. I should have wrote down the developer, but the It Takes Two and A Way Out. So personally, my wife and I, we liked It Takes Two better. I don't know, it's a more serious game. It's you and a guy escaping out of prison or just getting out of prison. Again, a hazy memory on the details of that one. I only played it the one time. I want to replay it again because there are some, obviously I want to experience the other side of the story, because you actually, it's so cool. I wish I could have appreciated A Way Out a little bit more. The characters didn't jive with me all the way. The story was like, nyeh. But and I think it was just overhyped for me personally, and that's what sometimes I really try not to buy into the hype. I try to go in with a clear mind and not be like, oh, this is gonna be amazing, I'm gonna love this, guaranteed, because generally then that doesn't hit. So I'll be like, oh, this was pretty good, but then I'll find problems regardless. Just the characters, the animation, I hated the animation of It Takes Two. Didn't really like the art style of it, but I want to replay both of them and obviously play the newest one. I have not played the newest game. I don't even remember the name of it. But again, that one has great hype and all that stuff around it. I'm going to go in with a clear mind and hopefully, like, I'm getting close to forgetting about it. I don't even know its name. So that's getting to a good time for me to play it. So then I don't remember anything of the reviews and I can just go in and enjoy the game, enjoy the experience. But personally, I was a Way Out guy. I just liked it. It was more realistic, like I said. And it was the first experience like that I have had in a long... I hadn't played a game purely designed for a co-op couch experience, because that was dead for years, man. Like, it was so hard to find those games for an era there. Like, I would say that 360, when, you know, the online market really boomed, it was hard to find a good old classic couch co-op game, especially like really good ones or ones you could play over and over again. So regardless, it's just, I really appreciate that they're making these games specifically for couch co-op, and they've been greatly reviewed and people love them. The developers are well loved, so that's great. We move on to another Wii game, but this one is New Super Mario Bros. The Wii one. Oh, buddy. If you can get 4 Wiimotes and 4 crazy sumbitches to sit down and play this game together, you're going to have a blast. You may never finish the game, but you're going to have a blast. So I played this game multiple times in multiple different ways. Mostly, so I played it alone. Don't like this game playing it solo. It is not the same. Playing it 4 players, admittedly a little bit too chaotic for like a gamer to actually get through the game and beat it, but admittedly it was the funnest I've ever had playing this game was with 4 people. It was at homie Billy's birthday. We played it at his house. I think it was new and he got it for his birthday, and the 4 of us were playing it, and it was just chaos. Poor Billy was trying to get through the levels, and we were just picking each other up and throwing each other into lava, constantly bubbling because we were freaking terrible at the game. Like, Billy's got a much higher skill level in platforming video games than any of us did at the time. I was second, but still not even freaking close. I was terrible as well, and he dragged me through that game when me and him would play it, just me and him. So, yeah, but it was still so much fun. I have not played the Switch... I think it's the Switch version. They also have re-released it on the Wii U version. There's a new Super Mario Bros. 2, I do believe. I don't know. There's so freaking many games out there. But I have not played the second one. Just haven't been, I don't get to hang out with the homies all the time, and my wife isn't a big Mario person. I'm not a huge Mario person either, so I know I wouldn't enjoy that game solo. So I'm waiting for a dedicated time that I can play it co-op with somebody, and at some point maybe I will. But it's not high on my list because I haven't heard like amazing things about that game. But the memories for New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii, oh buddy, and that red case, like, oh, really, really pops out. I can see it right now on the. It's the only odd colored case that I have in my Wii collection. I don't really know why they did that. Maybe that was one of Mario's anniversaries or some weird shit like that, and they decided, yo, let's go with red. All right, we go to the next game, another classic. This one should be on every couch co-op list, and that is Mario Party. Oh, buddy. Now, again, kind of like Mario Kart, I guess everyone kind of has I feel like everyone enjoys the N64 version. Everyone that I've plopped down and forced them to play Mario Party 2 with me has enjoyed themselves. I would say it's holding up still to this day. It's maybe a little slow-paced for today's market, but it's still a good time. It's a great time, especially when you can get some people that have played it maybe a few times, just so you don't have to go through the rules of some of the mini games. But they're pretty self-explanatory. Me specifically, I'm talking about the N64 versions. I have not played any of the GameCube ones, and I've only played Mario Kart 8 and on the Wii, and then whatever terrible one was the superstars, I think it was, where you're all together in the cart and you're just gaining mini stars. It was awful. I played it just to see how bad it was, and it truly was the worst Mario Party I've ever played. My personal favorite is 2 and 3. You can't go wrong with 2 and 3. Like, I think they're great mini games, fun boards. They could use some more characters, sure, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. I think, personally, I'm a 2 guy. That's the one I played the most by far. Have recently been playing Mario Party 3, because that one, I only have slight memories of it growing up. And playing some of the mini games now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I remember this from when I was a young kid and was, all I did was watch video games when I was super young, because I was too terrified of everything and didn't want to lose. So, yeah. Anyway, Mario Party is that's the free space on the bingo board, just like Mario Kart, but specifically the N64 versions, because those games that console was designed for 4-player couch co-op with your buddies and your homies and stuff like that, your family, your siblings and stuff like that. A genius design and brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So many great times playing Mario Party. I'm pretty sure I have an episode on Mario Party 2, so you can go back and check that out. Now, here's one that may not be on everyone's list, and it took me a while to figure out that this game actually did have couch co-op mode in it, and that's The Sims on PS2. My sister and I used to play it all the time, and those are some of my fondest memories of that game. Because early on, when my sister and I first started playing this game and got addicted to it like a drug, and had to get a PlayStation 2 of our own because, our Auntie Jerry and our cousins were upset because we were playing it too much. So we had to get our own. But I remember I have an episode on The Sims, and I told this story, but we used to share, went to Dollarama, shout out Dollarama, nothing is $1 there except for the candy, shout out candy, but we got this freaking Dollarama Apple timer, and it had a half hour on it, and that fucking dreaded clock just tick, 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 ticking down, and until my turn ended, and then that dreaded ringing, when your turn is over. We had one of those, so we would play in half-hour intervals. Little did we know, you can actually play that game split screen. It may not be amazing, but man, did my sister and I have a great time. So what we did is you get a plot of land, and we just made like 2 small kind of like trailer houses, and we just did our own thing. Like she was over there doing her own thing. I'm like, oh, what's up? And then whenever we needed the social, instead of like being, doing the annoying thing, like calling up our friends and then waiting for them to come over, and it takes forever. And then, doing that, we would just be like, yo, let's just hang out. And it was dope. It was like, it was so weird. It was us hanging out, playing us hanging out in The Sims, but I just had such fond memories of split screening. That was like one of my favorite Sims experiences too. One of my favorite houses that I've ever built was like the little dual trailer park houses that we had on this one plot of land that my sister and I shared. It was freaking awesome. And yeah, I've never played co-op ever again. I don't think in any of the others. I don't know if it was something that they continued onward. I don't remember it. I don't remember it in Bustin' Out. Don't remember it in The Sims 2. And the only other one that I have played The Sims 3, but I was so alone at that point in my life. I definitely played that game alone. So yeah. Regardless, The Sims, not the premium choice on this list, but it's one that is close to my heart and has a very special PS2 memory for myself personally. All right, we'll go. Buddy. So the opening music. I got amped when I was like, oh man, when I do my thing, I'm just like, all right, let's start this episode up. What music are we going to do? I'm like, I was looking at GoldenEye, and I'm like, man, that's one of the huge targets on my list to eventually. I need to do an episode on GoldenEye because I played so much GoldenEye growing up. My only thing is, I don't think I did say this on my Gaming Shames episode where I talked about things that I'm ashamed of as a gamer, rather games I didn't complete, games I didn't enjoy, or whatever. But I have something to admit here. I've never beaten GoldenEye, the campaign. I've never gone through it completely and played it. I've had, how they have like a memory. So like my copy already had like it all completed, and I was like, all right. And I would just play my favorite levels over and over and over and over again. What are those favorite levels? I don't really remember the names of them anymore. That's why I want to do an episode, but I need to replay and actually beat GoldenEye. The only problem is it's a little rough around the edges. I mean, I know there's remasters and stuff like that where the controls are a little bit better, but it's a rough game. It aged pretty rough. Like the last time I played it, which was a long time ago, that game was, I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, this was after, me playing Call of Duty for numerous years and stuff like that. I'm like, ooh, this is so bad. This is just, it was so rough. But, dude, I played the bejesus out of this game. I played it so much alone. I played so much multiplayer, 4-player, split screen, the classics, all went through all the shit. The Odd Job controversies, the Golden Guns, slaps only, fucking Golden Guns only. Like, it's all there. I've done it all. Obviously I was never allowed to use Odd Job because I was the baby of the family, so I always got to pick last, which was almost a benefit to me because sometimes I would get Bond because generally I was 006. No one wanted 006, and I was like, whatever, he's a 00 agent, whatever, he's cool enough. So I was satisfied with that, but obviously I didn't get the Odd Jobs. I don't think Jaws was a very popular character because he was so massive. Regardless, the game did not age very well, but it was awesome, man. It was actually very kind of like pretty accurate to the movie from what I can remember. I've only seen GoldenEye the movie once or twice. I really enjoyed it, but it's a Bond movie. They're long, and once you've seen it, you've seen it. I don't have to rewatch it a million times, but GoldenEye's a great movie and a great video game. And I like the TikToks or whatever the kids are watching these days. And it's the old man, and he's booting up the old N64, and it's and he's like, oh shit, dog, you not ready for this? It's so good. And the kid's just like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, why is this wired? Like, what are these wires about? I don't understand. And yeah, he's probably gonna get his ass kicked, and we'll be like, this sucks. But he won't understand. People won't understand. You kind of had to grow up in that GoldenEye era, and we probably wouldn't have the Halos and the Call of Duties and stuff like that if you didn't have games like GoldenEye. It was a very unique game with a very unique controller, with very unique controls, and it was, I know there were first-person shooters before it, but have you seen an N64 controller? The thing is like a crazy Lego invention that just looks like it was made on, like, someone was on acid and just, like, started drawing something, and Nintendo was like, here's $500, we're gonna use that for our controller, and that person took it. So anyway, GoldenEye is an all-time. That goes without saying. I could easily add in Call of Duty, Halo, all those games as well, because how many times have I had the homies over and played one-on-one, Rust, snipers only, quickscopes only. Personally, I was the king of Rust. I will say, in my friend group, not all time, I would get dusted by actual snipers online, but I had it done against the friend group, and Halo as well. I was really the only one playing Halo, like, online competitively at the time, so it wasn't a real shocker that I was whooping the floor with everybody that's never played the game before. So, shout out me pub stomping my friends, but it was a lot of fun. I remember, because everything was so new. They like the bubble shield, and they've never seen anything like that before. So you throw down a bubble shield, and they're like shooting at it, and it's like, come on inside my bubble. And then they come in the bubble, and I got a shotgun or the fucking gravity hammer, and I just fucking destroy a bitch. It's so much fun. And I used to go 3-on-1 against them and beat them. Again, humble brag, because again, they didn't play the game, so it's okay. But me and the homie Kyle, we used to play a lot online together, and eventually the friends came around once Call of Duty got a little bit boring. I was like, yo, y'all should check out Halo. It's a good time. And I'm hoping I can get into Battlefield 6 this year. It seems like a lot of people are going to be getting it, and it looks like it's going to be a good time. So hopefully I can get on the bandwagon as well and play some Battlefield this year. I think it's coming out really soon as well. At least they're showing it a lot on the storefront recently. So that is key. All right, up next we got Resident Evil 5. This is a personal favorite of mine and my homie Billy. We had played this game together at least 3 or 4 times now, and he will still ask me, like, yo, you should buy it on PS4 and we'll play it again. I'm like, bro, I can't play this game again, but I really can. And I'm very excited, hoping that the next announcement for a Resident Evil game will be a remake after they do 9, hopefully, or Requiem or whatever it's called. Hopefully we get a remake for Resident Evil. I mean, I can't lose as a Resident Evil fan. Whatever one they want to remake, whether Code Veronica 1, 5, 6, I mean, shit, I'll take any of those. But, like, you know, let's keep it on. I personally would want the Code Veronica one more, just because I feel like it needs it more, and I haven't played that one yet, so that would be really cool. I do have it, but I haven't played it yet. Regardless, Resident Evil 5. The first time they added co-op, and yes, arguably when they started to take the scary out of Resident Evil, but, yo, play Resident Evil, and you tell me that liquor section is not scary, or the freaking tribe people, that is scary when they're, like, doing their war cries and shit like that in the distance. You're like, oh god, they're coming. And the alligators, I think they're crocodiles. I'm pretty sure they're crocodiles, but those massive freaking crocodiles that you gotta go through, there are definitely scary sections in Resident Evil 5. Yes, obviously, when you got a buddy with you sitting right next to you, yeah, it's not as scary, but it's fucking fun. It is so much fun. I will die on that hill that Resident Evil 5 is one of my favorite Resident Evils because of the co-op, even though a lot of people say that it ruined the game. The co-op ruined the game. I even enjoyed it with the freaking just playing it by myself with the... I didn't... Like, the AI wasn't perfect, but it wasn't undoable. Like, I definitely got through the game with AI, Shiva, whatever it is. It's not as good as having the homie Billy there with you, but, man, I am still down to play Resident Evil 5. Really can't wait for them to do an announcement. I hope they do it someday, and it's going to be interesting what they do with it, because are they going to have the co-op? They're going to redesign it? I have no idea. They probably don't know yet either, so Resident Evil, baby. Oh, just can't stop playing that game. And speaking of stop playing that game, we got Guitar Hero. Oh, I can feel the carpal tunnel already. So I played a ton of Guitar Hero. I played pretty much all of them. Even my wife owned a lot of them. Like, when we combined collections, she got me covered on Guitar Hero on PS2. She got, like, all of them. 1, 2, 3, Aerosmith. I'm like, damn. Like, it's too bad you didn't get any of the Guitar Heroes in HD, because, man, what an upgrade. Like, Guitar Hero 2 and 3 on 360. Oh, buddy. I remember the day I got back from Future Shop, or Best Buy, whatever the heck you want to call it. It was a Future Shop back in the day. So that's where I got my Guitar Hero 3. And we'll get to the other rock and roll music video game in a moment. We'll talk about it. But I was a little bit hesitant to get Guitar Hero because I was such a other franchise guy at the time. But I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was hard. Guitar Hero 3 was extremely hard. I couldn't get through... I don't know if I got through Raining Blood, if I could. I know I definitely couldn't get through the Fire and Flames ever. That's just impossible for me. Never was gonna happen, and good for anyone that did. I know the homie Billy did it a few times. That's unreal, and seeing the people that do it at like 2,000 speed and they're getting 100%, like, that is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous, but numerous times, like, one of my favorite memories is back in the day when Blockbuster was still hanging on by a thread, and they were doing some crazy deals at the time, bro. They're doing some crazy deals where I forget what it was, but it was basically Game Pass, but Blockbuster style. I can go to my Blockbuster, pick out a game, and I can rent it for as long as I want and I think it was actually fairly expensive. I don't remember the price of it, but regardless, I could just go and rent any video game for this. As long as I was renting numerous video games, which I was getting my money's worth. And that's where I got a lot of Guitar Hero games, because I was like, yo, I can rent a Guitar Hero game, crush it in like 24 hours, go back to Blockbuster, and then get another one, and then crush it again. So that's where I was doing like Rock Band Beatles, or, I said the Rock Band thing. Okay, well, that's the hidden other game, but Guitar Hero, like Warriors of Rock, I think it was, Guitar Hero 5, Guitar Hero Metallica was a big one for me. I was so desperate to get that game, but I played Aerosmith, and I didn't love it. I was like, I like Aerosmith. I don't love Aerosmith, and that game was okay. It was just okay. Cool guitar, some jams in there, but short, not as many songs. And it was more of a DLC, we all know that. But the Metallica one was a little bit meatier than a DLC, I would say. I'd say that one deserves to be its own standalone video game, because it's hard enough to keep your attention, And there's a lot of influential bands because they'll throw in like, oh, my favorite band was Metallica, or I was inspired by Metallica. So they put in those bands, and then bands obviously that Metallica were inspired by. I shouldn't have done that voice. Really fucked me up right there. I'm battling, but we got this. We got this. So that's when I was playing a lot of Guitar Hero games. I was also probably at my most fit at that time because I would ride my bike like 30 fucking minutes up, down, like way across town to go to the Blockbuster, pick up the game, ride back, and then play it for the day, and then ride back, get a new game, so on and so forth. Sadly, that I only got like maybe 2 months out of that, and then Blockbuster was, they were dead. So, you know, I tried, I was buying stuff from them. They were even telling me to steal shit. It was so bad. They're like, please steal this stuff. I was like, that seems like this might be the reason why you're going out of business. But regardless, I didn't know any better. I was only like freaking 15, 16 years old at the time. But regardless, I loved Guitar Hero. I still love Guitar Hero. I like Rock Band more still, obviously. It's just to me, it's just better in every aspect. Except for the guitars, which is fine. Guitar Hero, you can have the better guitars. Good on you. But I played a ton of Guitar Hero, owned a ton of Guitar Hero games, and I still, if my guitars weren't wrecked in the flood that I had, I would still play Guitar Hero to this day. When Jesse came down to visit just this summer, just a few, like not even a month ago, what'd he want to play? Guitar Hero. And I was like, my dog, my fucking guitars are broken right now, and they don't work. They're all warped and shit. The one was already broken, and then the water damage already on top of it. I was like, all I got left is the keyboards for my Rock Band, and I think the drums might be okay, but I haven't checked on them in a long time. So anyway, we'll talk about one more game, and then we'll talk about the Rock Band. But the other game is Smash Bros. Oh, you might have thought I forgot about it, but no, I did not. There might be some games that I've missed, but I had to cut myself off at this amount of games because I felt like maybe I could have definitely squeezed in more, but we're at a good time frame right now. I generally like my podcast to be 45 minutes to like 115 maximum. You know, I don't like them going too long, but regardless, because, you know, I do this solo and I can only talk for so long. Regardless, Smash Bros. Now, to this day, the one I've played the most is probably Brawl, which is probably the dark sheep of the series, because there's a lot of weird mechanics in that game, the slipping, the tripping. They added in the final smash, which I like. Again, you can turn it off, so it really doesn't matter. There's so many features and options and stuff, and I've just been recently playing Ultimate again. It's fantastic. It's unbelievable. There's so many characters, and I can't believe you can have that many characters and the balance still be relatively pretty good. I know there's some characters competitively that you can't use. I think like Meta Knight, I believe, is I tried using Meta Knight. I suck. I can't friggin' use Meta Knight, so I don't know. Good on you if you can use Meta Knight, but I can't. I have to use the basic characters, like the big hulking characters that are probably, you know, rookie noob players use, like Ike and Bowser and Kirby. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I use those characters all the time because they're freaking good for me, because I don't play it all the time. But Smash Bros. I used to play all the time. All the freaking time. Smash Bros. N64, oh baby. My guy was Link, and I like Kirby a lot as well. I tried, again, it got to me a little bit. People used to make fun of me when I would use Kirby because he was, you know, he could float and so on. And yeah, he was really hard to take down, but whatever. That's a you problem, bro. So if you don't want to use Kirby and fight him, oh well, try Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff has the same problems, but no one complains about fucking Jigglypuff. All right, anyway. When it comes to Melee, only have a limited experience with it because I was so anti-GameCube at the time. I know, I regret it. I really wish I played more GameCube growing up. I had a friend with a GameCube, but then I moved away from that school and then lost contact with that friend. And then everyone I grew up with at this other school, we all had PS2s. So I think one kid might have had an Xbox. Sorry, that kid, but I'm just kidding. Hey, there's some good stuff on that original Xbox, man. There really was. I played pretty much all the really, really good games. Anyway, that's a story for another day. But we're talking Smash Bros. Great game. Personally, you know, Brawl, I played a lot. I used to make my own stages. I played Ike all the time. Really enjoyed Bowser. That's when I really got into Bowser. Kirby, again, obviously, because Kirby's a all-time. Link went down for me, though. I think, like, nothing tops original N64 Link. Like, that dude was a unit. He was so strong. I loved Link in N64 version. After that, I think they toned him down, lightened up some of his attacks, and he just doesn't hit the same anymore. So, personally, I don't really use Link much anymore. I would prefer an Ike or what's his name? Chrome or whatever. Chrom. Those big freaking swinging sword guys. I like that. I like those dudes. But Smash Bros. Still playing it to this day. Just recently playing it. It's still a good time. And we'll finish it off with my baby, my Rock Band. The very first episode that I did of this podcast was on Rock Band, and it's because it's probably the game that I played the most in my life. I would still be playing it today if I wasn't just, like, playing a real drum set. That's why I originally bought Rock Band, is because for some reason my dad was fine with me getting a plastic drum set, but, I mean, understandably wouldn't let me have a real drum set. But for almost as long as I can remember, I've always was tapping my foot to drum beats and always been the most interested in the drumming aspects of music, and have always been denied as a kid growing up to play drums. They're like, what instrument do you want to play? And I'm like, drums. They're like, here's a recorder. Damn it. And they're like, all right, what instrument do you want to play? I'm like, drums. They're like, here's a fucking saxophone. I was like, all right, the saxophone's pretty cool. But yeah, I never got to play drums until Rock Band came out. And I remember waiting and letting the Guitar Hero phase go by and, like, saving my money. I was like, I can buy Guitar Hero, but I was like, no. I gotta wait. I gotta save and wait for the release of Rock Band. Like, this is the thing I need. And I don't know if I've ever been more hyped for a video game than Rock Band, man. Like, I went insane when that game came out, and opening up that massive box was just so freaking good, man. Oh, it felt good. I remember recording it. I watched it a million times, just myself opening it. This is like way before, like, that was a thing. Like, unboxing videos, like, I remember I just wanted to watch myself like Christmas. Like, I guess that's why those videos are popular, because it triggers that aspect in us, like opening Christmas presents. Regardless, I did that. It was awesome, just opening up that and, like, unboxing it piece by piece. Here's the drumsticks, and oh my goodness, here's the pads, and it was terrible because I had a defective drum kit out of the box. Like, it was tragic that happened. I just thought I was really bad at the game. I was just missing every other note, and I was like, I guess I'm just missing it. And then all of a sudden I realized, like, really looked at it, I'm like, no, like, I'm hitting this and it's just not registering. Got a new set. All of a sudden I could play expert. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And off I went and basically got taught to play drums through Rock Band. Am I great at drumming in real life? Couldn't tell you. I'm not that good. I can play a couple of songs and that's it. But it makes me happy, and I can play some songs and have a great time. I played some drums today and it was a great time. I was playing some Green Day, and mostly Green Day. It was a Green Day day, you know what I'm saying? Just felt some Green Day and was rocking out some Green Day. It was a good time, a little Ozzy Osbourne, because I'm still recovering from that loss right there. But there we go, everybody. That is my list of couch co-op games that I loved playing growing up, and still to this day, I play some of these games for sure. So let me know. Please hit me with some hidden gem co-op video games, couch co-op, something that I can play with my wife, something that I can play with my friends. Oh, one more game I should shout out. I gots to shout out Borderlands. Actually, no, I don't, because I don't think I ever actually played that game. I did a couple of times with my wife, but we weren't really feeling it. So actually, I'll sort of shout out Borderlands. I almost felt really bad because I love Borderlands, but I don't think I actually played that one online. So that's a list for another day. But this list is complete for now. Maybe we'll revisit it another day. But let me know, what co-op video games did you play growing up? What were your favorite multiplayer games that you grew up playing with your siblings, and so on and so forth. But there we go, everybody. Another episode down, and thank you so much for listening. You the best, and you want to be even more of the best, make sure you're reviewing and sharing the podcast around with a few of your friends and maybe an enemy or two. Drop a comment on Spotify. Let me know what games you played over the summer. Let me know your favorite co-op games and all that great stuff. I also upload all these episodes to the YouTube channel, GamerGX Videos. You can follow the link down below, and it'll take you to the channel where you could subscribe, please and thank you. And you can leave a comment there as well. You can leave comments on anything about wrestling, video games, hockey. I enjoy all those all those topics. If you have anything that's, burning a hole through your mind, you just want to have someone to talk to about hockey or video games or wrestling, like I said, I can talk to you about that stuff all day long. So, throw in some comments. I'll shout you out on the show and let me know what you're playing and doing and all that great stuff. So there we go. In terms of episodes, I'm kind of working. I don't think I want to do a horror month again. That was really difficult to do last year. And, to play 4 different horror games in a month and a half or so, it was a little easier because I used some indie games that weren't very long to get me through that. But right now I'm playing through Alan Wake 2. And being a half dozen or hours or so through the game, I don't really think it needs like a full episode review, because I think I've already said what I needed to say about the game. Like, it plays more like a Resident Evil, but more FBI detective mystery thrown in there. Now, it can really, there's still a lot more game to play, so again, but I just don't know how good of an episode it would be. I've already done like my scariest games, scariest enemies, scariest moments, and I don't really know how much more horror content I can pull out of me unless I play something real scary out of left field. So we'll see what happens. Throw me some scary games, and maybe I'll play one and that I haven't played before. Don't throw out any Resident Evils or Dead Space, because I've already played that. So try some other stuff, and we'll see what happens. So there we go, everybody. Thank you again so much for listening. We'll be back again with some GX Bloodgate.